Who ruled Phoenicia? Each city or colony in Phoenicia was like their own country. Okay, they were all independent city-states. A city-state operated just like its own country, right? Each city-state had its own king, political policies, commercial boats, and specific trade items. Okay, they had all their ships. They had civilization. Okay, at times you can see how city-states might have experienced rivalries between each city-state, okay, over control of land or trade, money, right? Okay. Although city-states occasionally fought each other, they all fought for the power and influence that the Phoenician trading system built up. So they all fought for this trading system that became so powerful in Phoenicia. Okay? Two of the most powerful cities in Phoenicia were Sidon and Tyre. Okay, Sidon, we're going to talk about first. Sidon was known as the mother city and is believed to have established some of the earliest colonies. Okay, it's most well known for its metalwork and glass that were traded along the Mediterranean coast. Okay, the wealth from this trade established Sidon and made it Sidon important, okay, because of the metalwork and glass that they were to trade. This made Sidon one of the most powerful cities. Okay, I'm just going to read this little excerpt from a little legend about Sidon. Legends tell of a war in 1252 BCE between Sidon and Philistine cities that caused Sidon's fall. However, no archaeological evidence has been found to support this claim. It is more likely that Sidon's power and influence simply weakened over time. Okay, that was just a little legends, how a legend told of a war to cause Sidon to fall, but really it was just the Sidon's power and influence just weakened over time. Okay, so after Sidon's power had fallen, Tyre became the most influential city in Phoenicia. Okay, Tyre was divided into two sections, Old Tyre and New Tyre. Old Tyre was built on the mainland behind a row of islands, and New Tyre was built on the island themselves. Okay, so because of this two separate lands, the layout offered benefits for them. The city on the island was difficult to access because of its exposures to the open waters. Okay, so the city on the island was difficult to access because they're surrounded by water. Okay, this provided strong defense, okay, because it was hard for people to get to them and they could see when people were coming. Okay, at the same time, a natural safe harbor was created between the islands and Old Tyre, allowing trade ships to access the old city easily. Okay, this double city allowed Tyre to defend itself from outside invaders and rival cities. Tyre remained one of the most powerful cities until the fall of the Phoenician Empire. Because the Phoenicians were so successful within their trade networks, okay, they met other civilizations and cultures. Many of these cultures affected Phoenician society in some way through cultural diffusion. Okay, cultural diffusion is the spread of cultural beliefs and social activities from one group to another. So they're sharing different beliefs and activities from one civilization to another. Okay, so the different cultures are being mixed and diffused together. The Phoenicians gave tributes or gifts, okay, usually money or food, to show respect of loyalty to powerful empires so that these empires would not invade Phoenicia. Okay, so they would send out tributes to the surrounding countries or empires Okay, so they wouldn't come invade Phoenicia. For example, they paid money to the Assyrians, a powerful empire that conquered large parts of Southwest Asia. Because of this tribute the Assyrians received, their armies did not attack and invade Phoenicia. Okay, and the Phoenicians remained independent. So they were able to remain independent because they would give these tributes. Okay, this system of tributes did not always work. At various points in history, Phoenicians were occupied by the Egyptians, by Mesopotamians, and by Romans. Okay, often these invading forces were driven by the desire to take control because the Phoenician Empire had natural resources. Okay, so the natural resources were so prominent in Phoenicia that people just wanted to take control of Phoenicia. Okay, so the Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, and the Romans have all occupied Phoenicia at one point. Okay, the most desired natural resource that the Egyptians wanted was the cedar wood. Okay, the cedar wood was the wood that was the most wealthiest piece of wood you could get in Phoenicia. And because the Egyptians wanted this so bad, okay, the cedar wood that the Phoenicians would trade would make them wealthy. Although this desire occasionally led to conquest of Phoenicia, right, conquest, the taking over, it also benefited Phoenicia by creating jobs. Phoenician art, architecture, religion, and language were all impacted by their interactions with other civilization because of this cultural diffusion. Okay? The art and architecture left behind by the Phoenicians indicate Egyptian, Mesopotamian, Greek, and Roman influences. The impact of these other cultures on Phoenicia can also be seen in Phoenician religion and language. Okay, so now we're going to dive into the culture, the language, art, and we're going to see how one impacted the other.